Well, hi, good morning, and thank you for joining me in my shop. Today's the 19th day of November, and I'm a little delayed on posting videos, so this won't be posted for a day or two. And I've started the process of trying to relate the circuitry in the radio to the schematic that I have available. And sorry you can't quite see it there because of the light in my shop. Doesn't matter right now anyway. Let's just turn that down a bit. You should be able to see it better now. Yeah. I thought, well, an easy place to start. Start where it's easy. I'll start with top of this capacitor. I know where this is, and we'll just follow the wire, and it'll go up to the tube here. Maybe I'll find another connection on the way, or another connection on the way, but this wire should make it pretty much directly to pin number 4 on the output tube. You can't quite read it, but it says 4 there. Well, let's follow that wire. Okay. Maybe I can use just a little more light. Okay, so here's the capacitor involved right here. That's this guy here. Big number 60, value 60. It's the bigger one. This is, you know what? This is a 68 over. Oh my, yeah, this is a 68 over here. What did he put in here? Sometimes you can't tell from the size of the capacitor itself. This is a 40. So this is a 40, this is a 60, although the size would tell you otherwise, that's for sure. Okay, so on here, the first capacitor is the smaller one, a 40, and the 60 is the second. So we would expect this to be the second. But coming to this one is a wire. Now yesterday when I looked at this, I saw the wire come down and disappear back here, and I thought, yeah, it's going over to the rectifier tube here. That makes sense, from the rectifier tube through the filter. But today, when I decided to trace the wire very carefully, I wiggled it here, and I discovered, and you have trouble seeing this, that it doesn't go to this tube. It comes right around and comes and connects to this tube. This is the output tube. Okay. Okay, so that matches here. Coming from the, well, this is the 40, but let's assume he switched them or something. And this is the input. This is the output side here. Again, sorry about the lighting. My camera's acting funny today. How come you're acting funny, camera? In any case, follow this wire, and sure enough, it goes to the output tube. Now let's figure out what pin it goes to. So it comes around. There's no question it's this wire. There's no question it's going to this pin. This pin, which has another wire coming to it, is pin number, and I'm just looking to make sure I know where the key is. The key is right under here, a little hard to see. Yeah, absolutely. I should make absolutely positive. Yeah, there it is. So that's pin 1, not connected, all the way around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pin 8. So it's connected to pin 8. Pin 8. So the capacitor is connected to pin 8. Pin 8 is the cathode. Filter capacitor, the high voltage, the B+, is connected straight to the cathode of the output tube. Oh my gosh. Oh my. That's suicidal. That's a short on the power supply. Oh my. I don't know what to think. Oh, there's a ghost. So a kitten has just crawled up under my bench here. So that's a real headache. The very first thing I've traced is completely irrational in this radio. It doesn't make any sense at all. So, yeah, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to take a good gulp of coffee. That's my cats. Okay, my coffee cup said to me, well, if one end of the filter's not going right, why not trace the other end? The other end should go to the cathode of the... oh, isn't that interesting? Are these tubes in the wrong place? How can this could this possibly be the case? So here we're looking at the tube layout. 50L6 is close to the speaker, 35Z5 back in the corner. There they are. The reason I like that idea is because as soon as you look at the other side of the filter, here's the other end. This should be coming from the rectifier. The black wire goes to this terminal, this very busy terminal here. Then there's another wire that comes along, this brown one. It comes over to where the rectifier tube is. And there's no pin here. Did the fellow rewire? No, I was going to say rewire this so the two tubes are switched. I don't think so, because here's the power cord coming in, and it's going right to the rectifier as it should. Power cord should go straight to pin 2. Straight to pin 2. Straight to pin 2. So here it is, and if we count, there's no way that's pin 2. That's not pin 2. The key is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait a minute. Hold it. There's no. It's another one of these. There's no pin there. So this is coming into a terminal that's doing nothing. Then it's going on a yellow wire over here. This is the output tube. The output tube? There's no way the power wire is supposed to go straight to the output tube. There's no way. How can we see that? So here's one side. It's going through the switch. And does this wire in any way make it to the output tube direct? Does this wire in any way make it? No. How about this one? This one? No. No. I mean, there's no way that the power cord is supposed to reach the output tube. You know what I think has happened here? I think the fellow stripped out everything in this radio, and then he busily put it all back together. And as he did that, he made mistakes. He made 1 mistake, 2 mistakes, 5 mistakes, or maybe even a huge mistake, and began wiring these sockets incorrectly. So he's turned. I'm going to switch these. I'm not going to turn the set on, so don't anybody panic here. I'm just going to put these tubes differently and just see where the blanks show up. So once again, this is quite a coincidence. This terminal still has nothing in it. So it's still free for making a wire connection. So the power wire can come in, make a connection to the socket that contains the output tube now, and not touch the output tube itself. And then this wire that's what he's done here. Then this wire comes over to here, and now this wire is coming here to where there's a pin. These tubes got broken, and he sent replacements in a box. When you saw me take them out and look at this diagram and install them in accordance with the diagram. $50L6 close to the speaker. So now the $50L6 is far from the speaker. It's the other way around now. I'm very, very, very doubtful of this. But it sure does make a lot of sense. Now, let's look at some other stuff. So here's the light. And look, the light is connected to this socket. The light is connected to the rectifier socket. But we used to have this tube in there. I think that's what he's done. Okay, so I gotta go back and consult with my coffee cup, because I think the coffee cup may have solved the problem here, and maybe I can find out more from it. When I was a kid, the neighbor 2 doors up, the mother that lived there, she was a tea leaf reader, seriously. And people would come from far away to have their tea leaves read in her house. Pretty weird, eh? It's definitely strange. Strange stuff. Okay, I don't have any tea leaves in my coffee, and there's no, well, I don't know, I have to drink the whole thing to find out if there's any grounds at the bottom, and then read them? How do you read them? I was thinking about a couple other observations I made here when I tried to operate the radio before. The dim bulbs reacted too quickly, and that, I think, was probably a sign of these tubes being mixed up also, but, you know, how can you interpret all that? Now, let me just get things ready here. We're going to power this guy up, and we're going to find out what happens. Okay, a little bit of dinging on my computer there. Oh my gosh. Sometimes my mouse just will not work in here in certain locations, and I'm guessing it's because of some kind of interference in my shop. So okay, gotta have it right on the workbench here. Okay, you can see I'm coming up with all kinds of reasons to delay this because I could be totally wrong about what I've done here. Now, so what we're gonna do, let me bring you out of the sky here a little bit. I think we're gonna maximize the protection on the startup here. So we're gonna operate with just this one small bulb, and I'm gonna turn down the supply voltage even. That's gonna start this up at a very low voltage. And the idea is, if something starts going really haywire, I have enough time to stop it before it blows something up. I've only blown up a couple small capacitors in transistored circuits. I've never blown up anything in a big radio like this. Okay, so first, switch is off. Yeah, switch is off. Apply power. See what we get here. So 100 volts, but that's without going through the bulb. So going through the dim bulb is going to drop it way down. So okay, here we go. Power off, switch on, volume up. Will we hear the instant hum, or will we see the speaker cone fly out of this radio? Because I've hooked it right across 120 volts. I don't think anything like that's going to happen. Here we go. Okay, the light is behaving properly. It came on bright and is starting to dull down. Voltage at the radio is too low to even register on my gizmo here, which probably is probably stuck like that. Now, I see the light element here is glowing just a little bit. You see this is going down, 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 and that probably means the heaters are coming on the various tubes. Okay, so far. Now we don't know the voltage here because this is messed up. So I'm going to cut the voltage and turn it back on again in order to reset this guy here. 59 volts, really low. So we're going to crank it up because nothing bad seems to be happening. We really want this to get up to at least 90 before the radio will operate. So the only way we're going to get there is to screw in the other light bulb. I'm going to turn this back down, screw this in. This will put just about the entire supply on the radio. How you like that? Well, it's hard to believe that that's what happened, but that appears to be what happened. These tubes got swapped in the I'm looking again. 50L6. So this was sent specifically, this is interesting too, to guide the replacement. And you can see the fellow was Jeff, nice guy, for tube placement confirmation. Cheers! But unfortunately, these are opposites. Now, did he do 100% opposite and get everything reversed? Let's tune the radio and see what we hear. Now, good chance it won't pick anything up down here.
A rebound for price pressures might have the Bank of Canada doing a rethink on how much it can cut interest rates early next month. The headline inflation rate of 2% was hotter than forecast, lifted by food prices. Property taxes went up the most.
Well.
By 6% year over year. Other factors at play, lifting the inflation rate from a low of 1.7%.
Okay, cats have returned and have begun chewing various items in here. Well, that's a stunner. That's a stunner. Thank God I figured that out. Thank you, Coffee Cup. Part of being successful with realizing these things is giving yourself time to realize them by stopping. If you continue, you're just going to go down the same track and maybe not realize what you need to realize. So that's why I stop a lot. A lot of those coffee breaks you see me take last only 2 to 3 minutes. I barely get my hand on the coffee cup before new ideas come into my head. I change my location completely. I'm in another room. All this to try to generate ideas. It's not easy. Well, anyway, I shouldn't pat myself on the back too much here. So what we'll do with this guy is we need to check his alignment and just to see its performance, but I think that's basically all it took to fix it up. Just get those tubes in correctly. Wow, I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. But I've seen it with my own eyes. Okay guys, let's go. Let's go somewhere else. I'm talking to my my two cats here. My mouse is stuck again. That's okay, let's try again. Okay, so I think we should do a quick check of the alignment and just see if the fellow managed to align this or not. Still extremely curious to me how this happened, because the story still doesn't really add up properly to me. So I'm just getting some tools ready. Okay. Signal generator on. .455 is where we're going to set that, and we should warm up the radio here. And what I've got the output from the signal generator going to this loop of wire here. It's just a 3-turn loop of wire, and I've just got it fixed here so it won't move. And we're going to try to pump the IF frequency through the antenna into the radio, which should work just fine. Okay, power on. And we got to set the voltage correct this time also. So I'm just going to flip up my power switch here. So I'm no longer going through the dim bulbs. And we're going to set the power to where it should be, like about 115 or something like that. Okay, just a touch higher. We're about 112 volts, that's fine. We'll tune off a station. In fact, we'll close the capacitor completely. Now we'll dial up 455 and see what comes out of the speaker. Let me just calibrate this first. Up. Like that. Okay. So it would appear to me that it's aligned at a frequency, but it's aligned at the wrong frequency. So we can easily adjust this, and I'm not going to bother with a meter. I think we can do it by ear. So what I'll do is I'm going to turn this back until we can just hear it. Well, we can hear it right there. We can hear it all the time. So I'm just going to peak it up. Start with the second IF. Now it may sound like the radio's getting stronger and stronger as I do this, but really I'm just zeroing in on this frequency. It's not actually making it any stronger. Unless when the fellow aligned it, he didn't get it aligned at one frequency. Go through it again. Finger touch that? So you can hear, just listen to the change in the tone here. So this, if you tune these things up too sharp, most of these radios you shouldn't really concern yourself with this, but if you got it tuned up too sharp, you could make the bandwidth so small you lose the treble. A little hard to say just where the best spot is. I'll say there. That's got to be pretty good. Okay, so now we're more or less okay. 453. We're maybe a little below, but let's try this now. So it has the different markings in here. So we'll go to the middle. Straight looks like straight up is 9. Oh, that's not a good place to do this. We want to do this at another frequency. So we're going to pick 11. I have to line myself up with the center screw here, my eyeball, and look at it this way to avoid a rather terrible parallax that's happening because of the gap here. So that's 1100. Okay, let's tune in 1100 on the transmitter here, signal generator. Not bad. So 11 is 1077. So we can adjust that easy enough. If you look at the tuning capacitor here, you see a big section and a small section. The small section is the oscillator. In radios that have the sections are the same, then it's a little hard to tell which one's which, but you can tell by touching the stator, if you do it safely, because the stator will retune, whereas the stator on the antenna adjustment would just make it weaker. But if you touch the other one, that's a retuning. Okay, so that's how you could identify them if you had to. So we're going to want to adjust the oscillator trimmer. up on top here. Got a great big screwdriver to do it now. Is there any sensitivity with the screwdriver? No? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dial this to 11. Well, till we just barely hear it. And then I'm going to figure out which way to turn this. Sounds like there's another station there, right where we are now. Set this to 11. This is a little hard to do this part by ear. Okay, so dialed 11, hearing 11, there's 11. Okay, then we'll do the other adjustment here, and we'll do it with a station. Wow, can I pick a station up? Wow, it's a hot radio now. That's good. We're in a weak station. We tune it in really good. Okay, and now we'll do the larger half. Again, sensitivity. No. It's usually the case. I don't find much difference with the antenna adjustment. Now, it could be because I'm too low of a frequency, so we'll go way up here. What the heck is that? Okay, don't know what this is. Some kind of unmodulated carrier or interference. Let's just see what happens if we try adjusting this. So open is better. As usual, this I find this particular capacitor affects the high end a lot, but doesn't do much on the low end. So we got a little more out of the That's the French station. Let me try it again. CBC in French. Doesn't make a lot of difference. And then down.
Prepping your car for winter drive, where there's more than one person between you and the
Fantastic.
and that shooter hits the top corners. Last year that went in over more than 40% of the time.
Fantastic. Okay, it's going back in its cabinet. Another 2-day wonder. Okay, back to its cabinet. Fantastic. I get to go drink some more coffee now. Yay. Celebratory coffee. The surprises keep coming. So I went to put the bottom plate on and discovered, hey, I had noticed. There's the schematic. There's the layout of the tubes. So it shows there. Can you see that? It says 35Z5 close to the speaker. 50L6 in the back. 35Z5 close to the speaker. 50L6 close to the speaker. So unfortunately this diagram it's wrong. It's got an error on it. This is the correct thing. Just wow. Okay. There's the whole schematic, the whole shot, and the big write-up over here. The alignment procedure written here. The whole thing. Yeah, I missed this. But it doesn't matter. I sorted it out. Look at the information in here. The resistor list, everything. Gilfillan Brothers. Engineered by radar experts. So the Gilfillan guys were radar experts that wanted to make a little money on the side, so they started a radio company, I guess. Okay, so the thing about this is we got to fix this bend here and get this straightened up. So I think I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna put this in my garage vise and try to just straighten it up that way. But the surprises keep coming. More curiosities here. What is this? So you might think, well, it's a place to put a screwdriver through to adjust something, but there's nothing to adjust. Now this can go on this way. Well, I'm sure it can go on the other way too. You know what? It can't, because these are not in the center. It can only go on one way. I guess this is supposed to slide up in the slot here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a slot formed in here. So this is going to protrude, the reason I'm hesitant, this is going to protrude into the radio, and how can you see what it's contacting? If I put it on this way, it's going right in this space here, not much space. If I put it on the other way, I think it's heading for the, just get this right, it would be like that. Heading right for a high voltage terminal. I don't think it gets there. Wow. Yeah. I think I'd rather have it go this way. Well, it depends upon the radio. I don't have a choice here. Before I drop this, let's put it aside. Yeah, aside. What could this be? It's welded in. I don't know. Okay, so put these kind of in the forward position. So, slide in like about so, somewhere like that. So this one is still bent outwards, so it's a little loose. That's not good. This one's solid, this one's loose. This is the part that was bent that I've straightened out. I think we're going to have trouble here. Doesn't even want to go in. So that's lining up with the holes. So it's going in this way, with this at the front. Okay. Oh, it's going right up into here. I'm just going to push this capacitor back. And so it only goes in about double the size of this edge. So it's going to go in, up to about in line with the shaft. Well, it's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna touch this capacitor or not, but wow. That's what it's gonna do, though. It's gonna go in this way. Very good. Okay. Excitement at every turn. I will get this back in the cabinet now. hold on a minute. There's more mystery going on here. So these screws came in a bag already removed from the radio. There's 4 of them, 4 screws. But there's only 2 of these screw spots to go in. But there are these slots out here. And the screws can fit through the slots. I didn't get any nuts to go with this, and these are long shouldered, like really long shoulder here. And if we slide this in, then this screw has to come up. This is hard to see in the camera, I think. Hard to see the plastic piece here that the screw would come up. Where's the screw? Come up through the hole. Okay, so it could catch the slot. That must be the way this is done, because, well, here's another thing I can try. So I haven't screwed the bottom on yet. It's just sitting on here. Let's get it off. These screws go in. Son of a gun, they do. So they can only go so far. They hit the bottom. So is that good enough? Is that good enough? Let's just try this. Towards the front. Because there's 4 screws, I'm pretty sure this is not done the way I'm trying to do it. Let's just well, the screw slots are they're not lining up with the holes. But you know what is lining up with the holes is this. These are threaded. Yeah, these look like they line right up with the holes. Because these slots are too far out. These holes are lining up. So that's what it is. It's 4 screws into those holes, and this piece, who knows what that was for? Another. Oh, maybe, you know what? They're just to help you align the radio in the cabinet somehow. That's the idea of that. Okay, so we put the base on, put it on the right way, stick it in there, put 4 screws up through those threaded holes, and we're done. Challenges at every turn. It continues to be a strange thing. So I figured the 4 screws go in the 4 threaded holes, come up through the cabinet and go in the holes. But the cabinet holes don't line up with these at all. They're way off. The cabinet hole is way up here. That's like that far off. We're not talking a small amount here. And the radio is right in. Okay, the dial's right up here. The speaker's right up against the cabinet in the front. So we're back to those other screws, but I don't think they're in the right place either. No, the radio would have to come out about 1 inch. So I don't know what's going on with this radio. I don't get it. There's no way to screw this into the cabinet. How can that be? That's crazy. Oh, is the radio pushed too far forward? I don't know how you can. The knobs are just sticking out. little off center, but we can't do anything about that because it's the cabinet is in tracks inside the cabinet. The chassis is following some tracks, so it is where like this isn't right either. I wonder if this chassis actually didn't come from this cabinet originally. It's kind of far-fetched to think that. Really very far-fetched. But how else do you explain this? Then the base plate isn't correct. But the base plate screwed on. You can see the screw there, and there's a screw here. They matched right in. So I don't know how to secure the chassis inside this radio. I don't know how you would do it. Let me look again, just to make sure I'm not. No, this is way off. Way off. What about maybe the one hole at the front? No, way. Well, you know what that suggests? That suggests the bottom plate goes around the other way. I think the bottom plate goes the other way. Come on out of here. Don't put up a fight now. I have to stop for a bit and calm myself down because I'm a little bit. I can just feel I'm not in the right state to carry this on right now. So just give me a couple of minutes of relaxation and I will finish this off. I think, maybe. So I reversed the bottom plate. This thing, whatever it is, comes right here and practically touches that. So let's move this whole thing over. Yeah, loads of clearance now. Loads of clearance. Okay. Okay, attempt number 2. To put this in. Walk, please. Okay, screw the plate back on and see what happens this time. Okay, let's see how this goes. I haven't got this nearly far enough forward yet. There we are. Right in. Okay, so there's no question that was the way to do this. Okay, I'm going to finish this off and we're going to play it. See what happens. The fun and excitement is not over yet. So the radio came with a bunch of these kinds of guys here, and these you normally just shove them in. First one I tried, not going. I don't like it. So the problem here is that you shove this in. Maybe I'm going to break the. Can't get it out. Gee. But that's what it came with. It came with these things. Going down here. So that it goes in nice down there. I don't know, boy. See, this one's already broken. Break it more. So often, even though it's Bakelite, these things take machine screws. Not wood screws that cut threads, but actually machine screws can fit in there. But they have to be exactly the right ones. Now, is that how this was originally done? I'm looking for any sign of threads. I certainly don't see them. This is a really common way of putting it back on. I didn't want to break anything here. Wait down to the last minute and then start breaking stuff. Well, that kind of went in. What was my concern there? Let's try one at the bottom. Maybe I'm just overly cautious. No, that won't go in. I thought one went in there real easy. These must be different sizes or different shapes or something. Okay, that went in. Just need to get really one more in. So there's another one here, but it's in two pieces. Whoops. Where'd the other piece go? It's on the floor here. Not sure I can do anything with that. Would you rather be in the top or the bottom? Probably in the bottom, you know. Oh my gosh. I don't like it. Now I can't get it out. Oh, wow, it's sharp. Can't fall right off at this point. Oh my gosh, I've left my shop door open and you can hear the TV playing in the other room. That actually went in there pretty good. Just close my door here. The problem with you hearing the TV is not hearing the TV. It's music can play on the TV and that can become a copyright hit on my video. So that's why I don't want that to happen. Okay, well, that's about as good as I'm going to get it on the back, I think. At least it's not going to fall off. Let's make sure we can tune the radio. Yep. Okay, we have a couple knobs here. Lovely looking knobs. Put on. Uh-oh. Yeah, the show just never ends with these. Are these not the original knobs? No, they're not. So, it's a little bit shallow even. The color is not quite right. But they're okay. To make them stay on, I do something really chintzy here. I would get a piece of cardboard or paper. Just basically do this. Let's put this a little more square here. Is that it? Is it because there's a stupid piece of paper in there? Not really. Am I not pushing this on hard enough? Can I snap on at the end? It did. It did kind of snap on. But this one's not going to snap on. Okay, we'll try the paper trick with this one. A little less paper. This one doesn't want to go on all the way. How does that happen? Maybe the paper's sliding right to the bottom. Yeah, it should go down quite a way. So, smaller piece. All we gotta do is just enough to hold the knob on. It's not a... There we go. No, it's still wiggly. Yeah, paper one. Well, okay. Well, okay, he says suddenly. Pronounce the situation okay. Let's try again. There's a cat trying to break into my shop here. There, I think that's got it. There we go. Okay, hey, time to try this radio out. Great. I'm going to plug it into a regular standard outlet this time. Okay, switch is off. The outlet is powered up. So this has a really neat pointer, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it in this kind of light. But the pointer should just light up and be this nice red thing going there. Look at this dial's backwards. The low frequencies are over here. Okay, let's turn it on. Didn't come on. I don't see the light. I don't think the light came on. Oh, yes it did. What's it doing over here? Oh, okay, the light bulb, yeah. So it's going to light up, I guess, the numbers a little bit where it is too, and the red line. Let me douse the lights here and get a look at this. Now again, tricky in here. Things often look very different in my eye. They don't in this case. They look pretty similar.
197 North Street in Etobicoke. To celebrate, they're offering the first 200 in-store guests one complimentary 6-inch classic sandwich.
Want to pray and know that the propaganda will spread. But we have seen, Jeff, we've seen the rate of Samaduan in BC.
One ramp to Highway 6 South is in the right lane.
So this would be 680.
To the 400.
Let's see.
Eastbound QEW approaching Dixie. We had something.
Just tip the radio up here a bit. So that's pretty much 680. It's on there.
That was approaching Dixie, but they've cleared out up here.
Very good. You can see the paint work that was done because the light is shining and highlighting the painting that was done by the last guy. No idea what that's doing there. Very cool though, the red pointer. Okay, let me put some lights on here again. I think we're done. I gotta wonder what that is though.
Are you individual?
We probably would lose money because I eat so many sandwiches, though.
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
Yeah,
very good.
My position would be healthy.
Yeah, a little too close.
Yeah, it would be zero balance in my diet.
All right. Yeah, your physician wouldn't be happy. He'd be
Very good.
not as happy as Philadelphia 76ers fans are right now.
That's 590, right at 590. Excellent. And that's operating with no boost, no antenna boost. It's operating with its own antenna. That's very good. Very good in my shop. So thanks a lot for watching this series on this radio. And I'm not sure what I'm going to have in here next. I have to go rummage my garage and see what I got out there that's waiting to come in. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.